The Forest of Dean is one of my favourite places to ride in the UK. There's loads here to explore. So in today's video, we ride a trail, take on some new features, and I add some more speed holes to my mountain bike shorts. Over the last couple of years, I've ridden most of the marked trails in the Forest of Dean. Well, all except one, the Freeminer's Extension Trail. If you've ridden in the Forest of Dean before, then you will have most likely tried the normal red graded Freeminer trail. We've even explored it on the channel in the past, and it's a well-ridden classic. But there is a longer and much less ridden alternative ending. The Freeminer trail is a steep 6km long red graded loop. The longer variation doubles the distance to around 13 kilometers, which still doesn't sound too bad, but it will depend on what time of year you ride it. Because we've explored the Freeminer short trail before on the channel, for today's video I'll just give you the trail highlights. Then we can focus on the less ridden extension trail. So the Freeminer starts alongside the Blue Verdurous trail at the bottom of the car park. The first couple of sections take you past the skills area and onto the fire road. Dropping into the woodland, you start the long climb. For some reason, the Freeminer trail always seems like it's 80% climbing and only 20% downhill. I think this is because the trail wiggles around a lot on the way up, but the descents are pretty fast and get kinda steep in places. The uphills are actually pretty technical. There are roots everywhere. This is especially savage if you haven't really warmed up the old legs yet.
I always forget how much of an uphill slog this first part of the Freeminer's trail actually is. Yeah, I'm out of breath.
But as well as just climbing, this first part also has a few extra features thrown in, like this low rock skinny thing, these jumps, which I was all over the place on, and a few other berms and turns. These are great ways to break up a long climb, but rest assured, you're going to be climbing again soon. At the top of the hill, you get your first taste of downhill. Now this section is my kind of jam. I love fast, natural woodland trails where you're really on the balls of your feet. This section is definitely an abrupt wake-up call for your body after spending the last 15 minutes climbing up a big hill. This is a great first section to get you into the swing of downhill riding. The second downhill on the Freeminer trail is a long one. You basically ride from the highest point on the climb back to pretty much where the trail started. This downhill is a bit more open at the top, but the terrain is pretty similar. There are a few sections here where the berms have been built rather than just being natural. This protects against wear and helps keep the trail flowing. When you get down to the bottom part, the trail becomes naturally rooty again. Savage rooty sections of the trail are staples here at the Forest of Dean. In the wet, they can be lethal. But luckily, they weren't too bad in today's conditions. This section makes you thankful that you're on a full suspension bike. This part is a bit flatter, and with the technical routes and things, you have to add in a few extra pedal strokes just to maintain your speed effectively. But all in all, this section is fun. There's plenty of opportunity for you to work on line choice and just enjoy the trail. Although this section is fun, one of my favourite parts comes when you reach the mini skill zone.
Oh yeah, let's hit the skinny.
I remember being stoked when I rode the skinny for the first time a couple of years ago. So let's see if I still have what it takes today.
Yeah!
Oh yeah, still got it. Carrying on down the trail, there are some small drops. This is a pretty good little play area if you're looking to build your confidence on drops, because these get a little bigger each time. But just after the little skills area, the trail splits. The Freeminer route will take you back to the car park. The long version will take you on an extra 6k tour of the woods before joining back onto the Freeminer trail pretty much right here.
So at this part, you got the choice. You can either do the normal Freeminers or head to the long one. We're going to go on the long one.
The next section of the trail joins the climb up the Verdurous trail before dropping back into the red.
There we go.
This section gets interesting quickly as you drop straight into some steep, loose, rooty corners. The whole of the extension trail is 100% natural, meaning that you're riding on pure dirt. This is great for people like me who love this type of trail. But it does mean that the extension trail is pretty much unrideable in the wetter months. This trail doesn't get anywhere near the amount of traffic that the other trails do at the Forest of Dean. Although this is only an extra 6 kilometers, depending on your fitness and your kit, it can be a pretty brutal ride.
So I've only ever attempted the Freeminer's long trail once, and that was about 2018. So we're talking 3-4 years ago. It was the middle of winter. It had been raining for like 3 months solid. And of course, this being a natural trail, it was practically unrideable. I hated it. And because of that, I haven't done it since. So I'm riding all of this pretty much for the first time. I have no idea what's coming around the corner. Right, I need to stop talking and breathe more.
The Freeminer extension is definitely a trail for fitter riders. The terrain is definitely more technical than the first part. Even the flatter bits are more technical. So if you're looking to work on your fitness or your technical riding, this is probably a good trail to try. Although it's only 13 kilometers or so, you'll definitely have to work hard for it. I've been riding my hardtail for the last couple of months, so I haven't really been on my full suspension much lately. Climbing up these steep, rooty sections reminds me how different a slack full suspension bike is at climbing compared to a nice trail bike.
Come on. Keep turning those legs. Come on. Pick a good line. Oh yeah. That's what I'm talking about.
As well as plenty of roots, the extension loop does have some decent descents, but they're much more mellow than the first part of the trail. This trail feels like you're riding somewhere other than a trail centre. It's the kind of trail that I've ridden when I've gone out for a ride somewhere in the great outdoors. Natural trails really are my thing, and because I'm riding this without knowing the trail, I'm not smashing it around trying to get the fastest time. This route feels like you're out for an explore rather than a Strava PB. Now, this trail may not be for everyone. When people come to a trail centre like the Forest of Dean, they come for the smooth trails with sculpted berms and crafted jumps. This trail doesn't have any of that. There are smaller jumps and interesting lines that you can take, but you do have to keep your eyes open for them. This being the first time I've ridden the trail, I was more focused on keeping my line and watching my speed.
I'm slightly scared to go full tilt because I have no idea what's coming. Normally after a downhill section there's like this, corner, savage routes, classic OTB territory for me.
As well as some savage rooty corners, I also came across this exciting feature.
There's a bit of a drop here. So this is your approach here. There you go. Kind of a long way down, a bit rooty. It probably doesn't look like anything at all on camera, but there we go.
To try and give it some scale for you, I hung my bike over the edge, which didn't really work.
Pretty darn steep. Let's hit it. Okay, I'm not even going to have a practice run, I'm just going to roll straight in. There we go. Yeah.
Back onto the flowing trail, I was feeling pretty good. But what happened next was by far the worst part of my day. I ripped 2 huge holes in my shorts again. Listen out for them both. 1 and 2.
I just fully ripped my shorts again. Oh, gutted. I guess the duct tape has finally worn off. Damn it.
Yes, you heard that right. As my Instagram followers will have seen, I recently fixed a hole in my shorts with some duct tape, and I was feeling pretty proud of myself. Until today. It wasn't until I got back to the car park that I realised the extent of what I'd done. It turns out that duct taping your mountain bike shorts isn't designed to last a month, and I'm just glad I was wearing a chamois layer underneath. Back on the trail, the extension loop joins back onto the original Freeminer. This trail has a powerful couple of end sections that are just made to be enjoyed. I was getting shaken about so much by the roots that the hose from my hydration pack came loose and started waving around in front of the camera. In a second I secure it back out of the way, but to be honest, I was more concerned about other things.
I've got to be careful when I turn because every time I turn I seem to be getting a hole in my shorts caught on my saddle. Don't want to go over the bars and have my bum hanging out.
I mean, let's face it, no one wants to see that. But despite my wardrobe malfunction, the end sections of this trail had some pretty cool riding. Check it out.
Oh, this is more like it. Oh no.
And with that, we're back at the car park. So if you're looking for a longer, more natural trail, why not check out the Freeminer extension? Now I'm off to buy some new riding shorts. I'll see you next time.